people think of marching bands are being bands that go out and boogie, and that's it. These kids can give you everything. They can give you the full spectrum. They can play your Super March as well as they can play a Stevie Wonder uptight. And when you raise the bar, you're able to do it all and do it very, very well. That's how you get there.
Okay, you have Santa Claus, the Easter Bunny, the Tooth Fairy, Superman, Batman, and He-Man. I think that's about it. Those are the people who in my life I found amazing. And I have to put Dr. Hodge right in that category. Right somewhere, right between Superman and He-Man, somewhere in there, because he was nothing short of amazing. You also have, let's see, the Boogeyman, Jason, Freddy Krueger, some of the ghosts off Ghostbusters. They were pretty scary. But trust me, none of those villains have anything on Dr.
Right,
Johnny B. Hodge.
Doc Hodge. I think what everybody knows about Doc is that he was somewhat of a gentle general. You know, the popular show now is Scandal, and they remark about gladiators in suits. Dr. Johnny Hodge was the original gladiator in a suit. Olivia Pope, that whole crew, they had nothing on Doc.
I marched in the band. I also was in pep band and symphonic band. And it just kind of amazed me how Doc would go from teaching marching music to teaching symphonic music. When we were in marching band, I remember he used to always say, play what you see, because we would play music that came on the radio. So we knew the music. Sometimes we play by ear, and it wasn't exactly what was written on the page, and he would definitely correct us on that.
I marched in the band at A&T from 2001 to 2004. And I remember first day walking into the band room for band camp, and I remember him getting in front of the band and fussing everybody out, kicking people out. First day, hadn't even done anything. People got kicked out of the band. I never understood how that was possible, but it happened, and I witnessed it with my own eyes. And I mean, it was amazing, and I knew right then, this is not the dude that I'm gonna mess with while I'm here. And we were in the band room, and somebody was talking or something, and you know, he's leaned over his stand. Man, you better throw all that talking back there. And so, you know, I looked around, you know, like, hey, who he done got now? And, you know, everybody's looking around. He said, I'm talking to you, little boy from Goldsboro, with your .9 GPA. And I was like, oh, my God. Doc just told the band that I had a .9 GPA. Everybody fell out laughing. But really, the joke was, I think I did have a .9 GPA at the time that he said that. But I mean, I found it amazing that he would even care enough about me to find out what my GPA was and to even know that I was from Goldsboro. He knew my name. He knew everything about me. So that was pretty amazing to me.
One of the brilliant things about Doc was his attunement to business practices, business management, marketing. I think if we all think back to it, Doc was somewhat of a marketing genius. He knew how to present us on national levels. He had a knack for marketing that I think is underplayed because you really don't think about it. But if you think about the level of success that the Blue and Gold March Machine has risen to today, and within the organization, sub-organizations like Golden Delight, like Cold Steel, what they've risen to today, it can be really traced back to the style of leadership that Doc had.
Something else I've thought about Doc over the years is how much behind the scenes work it takes to make a program like this run. It takes money, it takes time, it takes networking. And of course, when I was a student in the band, I didn't realize all of that. But there's a lot of networking and a lot of operational, managerial type administrative work that Doc put in order to make the program what it was to us, and also what it continues to be for current students, some who don't even know him, never even had the honor of meeting him.
The young people that I've had at A&T over the past 23 to 24 years, it's impossible for the band to have been good without the dedicated service of these young folks. And whatever I might have become at A&T, it's because I was fortunate to have dedicated students who believed in what we were trying to do and wanted to make A&T one of the best bands in the nation. And you might read things about the youth of today, but I'm here to tell you that the youth of today are something else. They've been really great, and you need to work with them and get to know them like I have, and then you really appreciate what they're all about. Thank you so much.
I didn't grow up with a father, so I really don't know what that father-daughter love is like, but there are a few men in life that I kind of think, like, if this is what it feels like, then this is amazing.
He had an adoptive quality to him. He was like all of our adoptive fathers. And the brilliance in him being able to adopt all these children isn't just in the fact that we all knew that he loved us. It was the fact that somehow through his leadership, somehow through his spirituality, somehow through cussing us out, he made all of us love our brothers and sisters.
Another thing about Dr. Hodge was about how much he cared for everybody. He always made sure that he took care of his students, treated them just like family.
I remember when I got out of college, I worked on campus, and I had gotten a job as an educator in Guilford County Schools. And I was too young to know that when you get a position that you're supposed to get an official offer letter. But then that last week, the principal contacted me and said the money didn't go through, they wouldn't be able to hire me, although he made it seem like it was a sure thing. The first person I ran to was Doc. I went to his office, and I knocked on his door, and I was crying, and he fussed a little bit. He told me, don't you ever quit your job without having a letter. But what he did is what I think like any dad I would imagine would do. He went and told that man off. It was so special to me. Like, I think about him often.
Wow, Dr. Hodge, Doc, as we so lovingly called him, because, you know, I think of a man of his stature and everything that he represented. I mean, he was the epitome of great band directors. And even today, like, I feel like a lot of my mannerisms, you know, I mean, they're patterned after Doc. Doc taught us lifelong lessons.
One thing with him, we always thought that he was never paying attention to the auxiliary. He was so focused on the band, looking forward. We're on the sides, practicing, doing our thing. Always Thursdays, he would call my name real loud, Tasha! You knew then something was wrong. And he would always remind us, you can have a plain cake just as well as you can have a cake with icing, and we were the icing. So if we didn't have it together, you would never have that icing on the cake. But it was just so interesting to me that he did pay attention to auxiliary. We always thought that he never noticed anything we did, but after every game he would tell us how good or bad we did. Doc was like a second father to me.
Growing up, he would always ask me where was I going to school, and I would say Florida State, Chapel Hill. He'd be like, no, Louds, you coming to A&T, you marching with me. So my junior year, we were talking about schools, and I told him I was coming to A&T, and he said, I told you you were coming to A&T. And when I got my acceptance letter, I remember coming over to Frazier and putting it on his desk, saying I was accepted, and he got up and he hugged me and said, welcome to the family. My biggest memories of Doc and marching with him was that he had made a promise to my father that he would look after me while I was on campus. And little did I know that was the reason why he made me ride the bus van with him.
My sophomore year, he called my dad. He had told me, because Dr. Hodge was my applied teacher. I got my degree from here in music education. So he was my applied teacher. He played tuba, I played tuba. So I would miss his classes. So he kept telling me, I'm gonna call your daddy. I was like, you're not gonna call my daddy. I don't even know if you know my daddy. It's that time about 180 of us. So I'm in practice about 4:30. My father comes to the door. I'm from Charlotte, North Carolina. This is like on a Wednesday. He asked me, stop practice. Dr. Hodge stopped practice and stated, I need to see my son. He said, come on down here, little red boy, from Charlotte. I said, yes, sir. My daddy said right there in front of him, I need your keys to your car. I need the keys to my car. From there, Dr. Hodge looked at me and said, all right, file back in to your seat. And I had to play. Looking at my car from Fraser window, drive away. It was a very embarrassing moment. But it taught me a lot of things. It taught me how to be disciplined, okay? That's what the band taught me. It taught me also that he loved. That's what, because he saw me going down the bad path.
There are some people that you meet in life that transcend time. Their experiences with you, what you know about them, what you feel about them, and Dr. Hodge is definitely that kind of person to me.
I miss him. I love him. Love the band. It's a family unit.
Love the band, that's where it came from. It came from that era there, and we marched and we really loved the band in the whole aspect of it, as one another loving each other. So that man brought a lot to us, not only just being a band director, but also having it where we have life skills and being able to manage our families now, today.
Doc, I love you. I promise to look after your grands as they're coming through Southeast as you looked after me. I've already looked after your oldest. You have one with me right now. And as they're coming through Southeast, I promise to take care of them. I love them like they're my own family. So Doc, watch over us. I love you. Say hi to my dad for me.